Imagine getting pulled over, handed a ticket, or even losing your license. Not because you were speeding, not because you ran a red light, but simply because you didn't know about a law that changed this month. That is happening to real drivers across America right now in April 2026, and most of them had no idea the rules had changed. So before you start your engine today, stay right here, because what you are about to hear could save you from a fine, a suspended license, or something far worse. Welcome back to Drive Authority USA, the channel that keeps you informed, keeps you legal, and keeps you safe on every road in this country. If you are new here, this is exactly the kind of content we bring you. Real updates, real laws, real consequences, explained in plain English so every driver can understand. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell right now because traffic laws in the United States are changing faster than ever in 2026, and missing even one update could cost you seriously. Today we are covering the most important April 2026 traffic law updates that every single driver in America needs to know about right now. Let's start with something that is affecting drivers in nearly every state this month, and that is the updated hands-free driving enforcement. Now, most drivers already know that texting while driving is illegal, but what has changed in April 2026 is how strictly this is being enforced and what now counts as a violation. Several states have expanded their hands-free laws to include not just texting and calling, but any interaction with your phone screen while the vehicle is in motion. That means changing a song, checking a GPS notification, or even glancing at an app that pops up on your screen can now be considered a violation in states like California, Georgia, New York, and several others that have adopted updated distracted driving statutes this spring. Officers are no longer just looking for a phone held to your ear. They are trained to spot any hand movement toward a device, any downward glance at a screen, and dashcam footage from patrol vehicles is now being used as evidence in traffic court. The fines for first-time offenders in many of these updated states start at $300 and go up significantly for repeat violations. Some states are now also adding points to your license on the very first offense, which directly impacts your insurance rates. The message here is simple. If your phone is in your hand while your car is moving, you are breaking the law in most of the United States as of this month. The second major update you need to know about involves speed cameras and automated enforcement zones. This is a big one. Several major cities and states have dramatically expanded their automated speed camera programs in 2026. Cities like Chicago, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and Houston have added hundreds of new camera locations in school zones, work zones, and residential neighborhoods. What is different about the April 2026 updates is that the threshold for triggering a violation has been lowered in many of these zones. Previously, cameras in school zones might only flag vehicles going 11 miles per hour or more over the limit. In several jurisdictions, that threshold has now been dropped to just 6 miles per hour over the posted limit. That is an enormous difference. If you are used to doing 36 in a 30 zone near a school, you could now be receiving a ticket in the mail without ever being pulled over by an officer. These camera tickets go directly to the registered owner of the vehicle, and ignoring them can lead to your registration being suspended. If you drive through any city or suburban area regularly, pay close attention to posted speed limit signs because the cameras do not care whether you saw the sign or not. Now let's talk about something that directly affects millions of commercial and rideshare drivers across the country. Updated federal and state regulations regarding rest periods and driving hour limits for gig economy and transportation network drivers have been brought into closer alignment with traditional commercial driver rules in several states starting this spring. Drivers working for platforms that involve transporting passengers or goods are now subject to stricter logging requirements in some states. This means that if you drive for a rideshare or delivery platform as a primary or secondary source of income, you may now be required to maintain digital records of your driving hours, and exceeding certain thresholds without documented rest breaks can lead to fines and deactivation from platforms. Check your state's Department of Transportation website for specific updates relevant to your situation because these rules vary and the penalties are real. Another critical update for April 2026 involves school bus stop laws and the technology now being used to enforce them. Illegally passing a stopped school bus has always been one of the most serious moving violations in the country, but enforcement has historically been difficult because officers had to witness the violation directly. That has changed dramatically. School districts across more than 30 states have now equipped their buses with external stop arm cameras, and the footage from these cameras is being submitted directly to local law enforcement and processed as legal evidence. In 2026, several states have increased the fines for illegally passing a stopped school bus to over $1,000 for a first offense, with license suspension possible on subsequent violations. The cameras capture your license plate, your vehicle, and the exact moment you passed the bus while the stop arm was extended and the red lights were flashing. There is very little room to contest these violations once the footage is submitted. Every driver needs to treat a stopped school bus with complete and full stops. No rolling, no creeping, no slow passes. Stop completely and wait until the stop arm is retracted and the bus begins to move. Let's also address updated DUI and impaired driving enforcement protocols that have been rolled out across multiple states this month. While the legal blood alcohol limit remains at 0.08 in most states, what has changed in April 2026 is the expanded use of drug recognition experts and roadside impairment testing that goes beyond alcohol. Law enforcement agencies have significantly increased their training and deployment of officers who are certified to detect impairment from marijuana, prescription medications, and other substances. With marijuana legal in a growing number of states, many drivers mistakenly believe that being legally permitted to use a substance means they are legally permitted to drive under its influence. That is completely false. Driving while impaired by any substance, legal or not, is a criminal offense in every state in the country. Officers are now better equipped than ever to detect this kind of impairment, and the consequences include arrest, criminal charges, and potential loss of your license for an extended period. One more update that is flying under the radar but is incredibly important involves updated insurance verification technology. In coordination with state DMVs, insurance companies, and law enforcement agencies, real-time insurance verification systems are now active in additional states as of this spring. This means that when an officer runs your plates, they can immediately see whether your vehicle has active insurance coverage. They no longer have to rely solely on the card you hand them. Driving without insurance in 2026 is not just a fine. In many states, it results in immediate vehicle impoundment, license suspension, and fees that can total several $1,000s before you ever get back on the road. Make sure your coverage is current, make sure your payments are up to date, and make sure your insurance company has your correct vehicle information on file. Before we wrap up, here's the most important takeaway from everything covered today. Traffic laws are not static. They evolve, they expand, and they are enforced with increasingly sophisticated technology. A driver who was fully compliant last year may not be compliant today simply because they did not stay informed. Ignorance of the law is not a defense in any courtroom in America. The fine you pay, the points on your license, the increased insurance premium, none of that goes away because you did not know. That is exactly why channels like this one exist, and that is exactly why staying informed is just as important as staying buckled. Thank you so much for watching today's update right here on DriveAuthority USA. If this video gave you information you did not have before, please give it a thumbs up because it helps more drivers find this content and stay protected on the road. Share this video with someone you know, a family member, a friend, a coworker who drives every day, because the updates we covered today apply to drivers everywhere across this country. Subscribe to DriveAuthority USA if you have not already, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a critical law update. We are here every week with the latest on traffic laws, driving rules, and everything you need to stay legal, stay safe, and stay in the driver's seat. We will see you in the next one.